Welcome to your Long COVID Transformation. I'm your guide, Betsy, and today we're diving into something that can truly shift the way we experience life with long COVID: planning and pacing. Living with long COVID means navigating symptoms that can change day to day or even hour to hour. But when we understand how to plan and pace our energy, we give ourselves the chance to live with more stability and even a sense of empowerment. There are three key things I want to share with you today. Awareness is everything. When you start noticing how activities affect your energy, you can make choices that help prevent crashes instead of reacting to them. Balance brings freedom. It might sound counterintuitive, but doing less at one time often allows you to do more overall without pushing past your limits. 3. This is a journey. Learning to pace takes patience and practice. It's not about getting it perfect, but about creating a space for healing to happen. So let's walk through how planning and pacing shifted everything for me and how it can do the same for you. So I'm going to start sharing a little bit of my journey. Before I began rehab, I would push myself to the edge, thinking that if I just tried harder, I could keep up, I could get it all done. What I didn't realize was how deeply my activity patterns were tied to the crashes I kept experiencing, and they were constant. When I started to understand the connection and began planning and pacing my days, everything shifted. I discovered I could actually do more, but without falling into that cycle of burnout and setback. So, why does this matter? Because when we begin to understand the natural rhythm of our energy, we can make choices that support our healing instead of hindering it. So as we move forward today, we're going to explore how thoughtful planning and practical pacing can become powerful tools in our recovery process, tools that give us back a sense of steadiness and maybe even hope. So let's take a moment together to explore why planning and pacing are such powerful tools when living with long COVID. So first, they help prevent something many of us are all too familiar with: post-exertional malaise, PEM, or as pretty much everyone calls it, including my therapist, a crash. Even everyday tasks can trigger a wave of exhaustion that can linger for days. By pacing ourselves, we're giving our bodies a chance to step out of that crash recovery cycle and into something steadier. Second, pacing helps us manage energy like an energy budget. If we spend more than we have, we feel the cost. But when we plan ahead, we can make thoughtful choices about where our energy goes, spreading it gently and intentionally to support our healing. And finally, creating consistent routines lightens the mental load. When we follow a rhythm, we ease the pressure of constant decision making. What do I do next? What am I going to do next? This frees up more space for rest, joy, and the things that matter the most. So, hold on to this. Planning and pacing aren't about setting limits. They're part of it. It's not the whole thing. They're about building a life that feels more supported, sustainable, and more in tune with your needs. So let's take the next step and explore some simple, practical ways to bring this into your daily life. Now, the first concept we're going to talk about is the battery model. A lot of people use the spoon theory to talk about energy. I had to look that one up. Every time you do something, you have to give up a certain number of spoons. The more energy it requires, the more spoons you give up, and you want to have at least one left at the end of the day. I like the battery model a little bit better personally. You want to picture your energy in the form of three distinct batteries: your main battery, plus the backup, your backup battery, and your emergency battery. So each battery represents a different level of energy availability. Ideally, we're going to operate on our main battery, our day-to-day energy. When that gets low, we bring in the backup battery. And when we reach the emergency battery, we're in a zone that's harder to recover from. Here's the important part. got one hand. You have to recharge the emergency battery first. Then you can pick up your backup and recharge it. And only then can you pick up the main battery and recharge it. With long COVID, many of us find ourselves running on backup or constantly dipping into the emergency mode. That is just not sustainable. The goal is not to push harder. It is to protect and preserve, to maximize the time we spend using our main and our backup batteries. That's how we begin to stabilize and feel more in control. So take a moment and reflect here. How could you adjust your daily routines or expectations to avoid draining that emergency reserve? Let's carry this awareness with us as we move into practical strategies for managing our energy more wisely. When you are planning out your priorities, a few things to remember. We're living with limited energy, and not all tasks carry the same weight. That's why you need to prioritize things. You want to break them down into really 4 categories. The non-negotiables. Gotta get done. These must be done to keep your day going or your health steady. Like taking medication, eating nourishing food, attending a key appointment. These are your foundational tasks. Next, you're going to have any important tasks. These are valuable and they help to move your goals forward, but they're more flexible. You can shift them around if your energy is low. The key here is giving yourself permission to adapt without guilt. And then there's everything else. These are things that can be delayed or delegated or really even dumped. This isn't about giving up. It's about protecting your energy for what truly matters most. By planning with intention and flexibility, you'll start to feel more in control and better able to meet your needs without pushing past your limits. So now we're going to take a moment to explore a practice that can transform how you move through your days. I call it the energy audit. The idea is simple, yet very insightful. Track your energy levels over the course of a few days. Check in with yourself at different points, morning, afternoon, or evening, and note how you're feeling physically, mentally, and emotionally. Why do you want to do this? Well, once you recognize your natural rhythms, when your energy rises and when it tends to dip, you can start planning your days in a way that's going to support your healing and not challenge it. The energy audit is in the back of your planner in the medical notes section. You don't have to do it on 3 consecutive days, but you want to stay within the same week to get a clear snapshot. I have color-coded this one, and I just drew some random lines on it here. Try to check in about every couple of hours. And this one here, woke up around 5, energy was kind of medium, steady, peaked from late morning to early afternoon here, dropped off in the evening to low, and bottomed out around 9 or 10. Writing it down is powerful. Whether you use your planner, a journal, or an app, you're documenting your energy, and it's going to help you step out of guesswork and into clarity. And with that clarity, you can begin making intentional decisions about how to protect and restore your energy, one moment at a time. Our next strategy is your to-do list. Let's reimagine the to-do list here. It is not a pressure-filled productivity tool, but it is a way to align your energy and create space for what truly matters. Begin with a brain dump here. Write down everything on your mind, whether it's a to-do or something you want to remember, anything. Don't categorize it, don't filter it, just get it out of your head and onto paper. Next, you're going to highlight or mark your non-negotiables, the tasks that absolutely must get done. So in here, We have a few non-negotiables. Forgive me while I look at the other screen. Planning the meals, making soup. Make sure your medication list is updated for that next appointment coming up. And then you're going to use a different color and mark your important things. So follow up on that referral to a neurologist. Send a card to your sister. And so here, red is the non-negotiable and green is the important. You want to keep this list short. 4 or 5 tasks per week is plenty. You can add to it as you start to recover more energy. Plus, a shorter focus list is going to preserve your energy and reduce the feelings of overwhelm. And here I've also got a couple that I'm going to hand off. Clean the bathroom, do the laundry. I'm postponing organizing the desk. Over here on your priority list, you'll notice it's not the typical non-negotiable, important, etc. High energy, medium energy, and low energy. So all of your non-negotiables and important tasks that take a lot of energy, like making some soup, are going to go in the high energy. If it doesn't require as much energy, for instance, these are more brain power, you want to put them on medium. Meal planning, updating the medication list. Low energy, following up on the referral. It's a phone call, less energy. Putting your name on a card, addressing it, having someone put it in the mailbox. That's going to be a lower energy. Now, it's not about doing more. That's why we're keeping the list short. It's about doing what matters at the pace your healing allows. It's time to give yourself permission to do less and work within your energy budget. The next strategy, which is part of our to-do list, is delegate and delay. This builds on the brain dump. It continues it basically. These lists are at the back of each month in your planner. You might want to flag these so that you can come back to them as you add things throughout the week or throughout the month. On pause for now, I put organize the desk. Really not important. It can wait. Handing off. Clean the bathroom. Do the laundry. Both of these I'm handing off to someone named Susie. Once you've told Susie, hey, I need you to clean the bathroom, you're going to check it off, check marks X, however you want. And that lets you know that you've told them. Now, once they complete it, you can just mark it through. That way you know it's been done. So it's visual. Now remember, always put your postponed things on the on pause list. This is a running list that you're going to refer back to when you have a little bit of extra energy and time. Oh, I've got some extra time. What was one of those things I wanted to do at some point? Hey, I have a little bit of energy. I'll go through and I'll reorganize the desk. That sort of thing. And as for delegating and handing things off, this is not giving up. It is a very powerful form of self-support, and it invites others into your healing journey. So up next, we are going to look at the 4 P's of pacing, which gives you a framework to help you protect your energy and move forward with more clarity and ease. These principles can make a very powerful difference in how we manage energy throughout the day. First, plan. Create a clear plan. This does not have to be complicated, just intentional. When you know what's ahead, you can move through your day with more focus and less stress. Prioritize. Not every task carries the same weight. Decide what truly has to happen today and what can wait. This is how we protect our energy for what matters most. Pace. This one is vital. Pacing means spreading tasks out, giving yourself space to breathe, rest, and recover. Overloading your schedule sets you up for a crash. But pacing, that creates sustainability. Position. This is about how you do the task, the logistics of it, the nitty-gritty. Can you sit instead of standing? Can you break it down into 2 parts? What about assistive tools? Things like that. Positioning is going to reduce strain, and that makes a huge difference over time. What you're doing with positioning is engineering your environment to help you be more successful. When you use the 4 Ps, you're not just surviving the day. You're shaping it with intention and getting things done. So next, we are going to look at some practical ways to put these into action, starting where you are right now. Time blocking is a simple but powerful way to bring more structure into your day. All it means is setting aside specific windows of time for both activity and rest with intention. So here's this example here for Monday. 9 to 11, you're going to do some meal planning and make your emergency soup. In case you're wondering what that is, it's a soup that is something you can heat up when you do not want to cook something, but you don't want to open up a can and toss it in the microwave. Around 1, Susie's coming to help out. Rest while she's here. Talk a little bit, let her do a thing. Rest. Around 3 to 4, you want to update your medication list. Do some phone calls, maybe write out the card. Another thing to keep in mind, use colors. For instance, for Easter service at church, I've got that one as purple. Family time. Personal time, things that I need to do, are in blue. A visit, someone's coming to help out, I've got that in green, so I know they're going to be here helping out. Appointment here is in red. Pick whatever colors you like and be consistent. Just make a note in the front of your planner what color is what so you don't forget. Now, you don't want to get too specific. So if you're going to do laundry, schedule laundry for between 3 and 5 p.m. Not, I'm going to start the laundry at 3:15 and at 4 o'clock I'll be ready to put the laundry into the dryer because it only takes 45 minutes to wash. No, that's just going to stress you out. Keep it broad and flexible. This gives you more space to adapt and prevents overwhelm. So, how are you currently managing your time? Are you a hour by hour, 30-minute by 30-minute person? Or are you time blocking? If not, I urge you to give it a try. Give it a test run for a week or so and see if it helps you bring more flow and clarity into your day. So next we're going to explore how you might begin putting this into practice in a way that works for you. Now we have the 50-50 rule and rest periods. This principle is all about protecting your energy and recognizing your new capacity. The 50-50 rule states that you do only half of what you think you're capable of, especially on the days when you're feeling really good. It might feel counterintuitive, but this approach helps to prevent burnout and setbacks. If you're doing well, add maybe 10 to 20% more. Don't go full speed. This is about being proactive with your energy, not reactive to a crash. And here's something that we often forget. Even on good days, schedule your rest breaks. Rest is not a reward for productivity. It's a vital part of your healing rhythm. Rest is not weakness. It's strength, strategy, and it is a vital part of pacing with long COVID. By embracing the 50-50 rule and weaving in regular rest, you're creating a more balanced and sustainable way to move through your day. So let's remind ourselves, rest and recovery are just as important as the tasks that we complete. Now we want to talk about monitoring and adjusting your schedule. This part of pacing is commonly overlooked, but it is essential. You aren't going to just create one plan and stick to it for the rest of your life. You need to check in with yourself about every 6 to 8 weeks to see how your body and energy are responding. Think of it like a tune-up, getting the oil changed. Are your energy levels shifting? Are certain activities leaving you more drained or more steady? By tracking your symptoms and energy over time, you start to see patterns. And like I said in my video on tracking, knowledge is power, the kind that helps you adjust your schedule to better support your healing. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about adaptability, giving yourself permission to change course if something isn't working. And you don't have to wait the 6 to 8 weeks. If something really isn't working, adjust right away. But give it at least a week to make sure it's not something else causing the problems. And remember, you are the one in charge of your rhythm, and that rhythm is going to evolve. As we shift our focus to listening to your body, I want to remind you of something very important. Flexibility is key in this journey. When your body whispers or shouts that it needs a break, whether through fatigue, discomfort, or emotional strain, please listen. This is not a sign of weakness or failure. It's your body's way of communicating its needs clearly and honestly. So let's practice being patient and with giving ourselves grace. We often carry a belief that we have to push through, that resting means we're falling behind. But in truth, respecting our limits is one of the strongest choices we can make. It's how we build sustainability and how we create space for healing. So today and every day, embrace this thought. Your body is not the enemy. It's your guide. So let it lead the way. As we go into the next aspect of our journey, I want to invite you to pause for a moment and truly celebrate all of your wins, especially the little ones. Every win, no matter how small, is a meaningful step forward. Every win counts. Whether it's getting out of bed without a crash, remembering to rest before the fatigue sets in, or saying no to someone or something that drains you. These moments are powerful. They're signs of your growth, your awareness, and your resilience. I encourage you to make it a habit to celebrate the small stuff, not just to recognize how far you've come, but to remind yourself that progress is happening, even on the quiet days, even on the rough days. This isn't about a gold star. It's about building momentum and fueling your progress. It's about giving yourself credit for every single step on the path to healing. Because here's the truth. The more you celebrate, the more inspired you'll feel to keep going. You're doing so well, and every little win is worth noticing. As we wrap up our discussion today, I want to bring us back to the heart of it all, the power of planning and pacing. This isn't just a strategy for managing symptoms. It's a way to reduce crashes, protect your energy, and most importantly, participate in your life again. It's about discovering a rhythm that is sustainable and supportive, one that works for you. It's not going to happen all at once. Start small. Track your energy. Test a strategy. Make small adjustments as you go, because every step, no matter how tiny, is part of your healing path. I believe in you. You are doing such meaningful work. You've got this. So let's carry this sense of clarity, calm, and momentum as we continue with our days. So thank you again for joining me today. I hope this gave you a clearer understanding of how to pace and plan your days. If you are ready for your next step, I recommend you watch Any Movement Counts as Exercise, and where I'm going to explore how movement activity can support your healing without pressure or perfection. You'll learn how to honor your energy while staying active in ways that feel safe, nourishing, and sustainable. You are doing amazing. So keep it going.